I'm stepping it up a bit. Up to now, for my watch collection, I've been buying watches in the $200 to $300 range. Now I'm going up to $900 and a limited edition from a micro brand to boot. That's hard for me as a new collector. But stay tuned to see why I bought this Squale 1521 TGV limited edition. I became familiar with the Squale line of watches through several YouTube videos, and I appreciate the quality and aesthetics of their watches. The 1521 line particularly interested me with their 500-meter depth rating. That's 1,500 feet. That's 100 times deeper than I'll ever go. Hey, if I'm going to get a diver, I'm going to get one with some robust specifications. And this is from Squale, a micro brand that virtually ensures that it will not be recognized by the average person I meet. By the way, what is a micro brand? Well, the budding watch enthusiast on YouTube in a recent video described a couple of characteristics of a micro brand. The two I particularly agree with is the low production volume, under 2,000 units a year. The other one is that they market their watches through their own direct channel, usually on the internet. And of course, there are options to be selected, even from a micro brand like Squale. The 1521 comes in a variety of color options. There's the blue dial with blue bezel. That seems to be everyone's favorite. There's the black dial with black bezel. There's the black dial with the bronze bezel and case. And I think more recent to this line is the blue dial with the stainless steel bezel. But the one I really liked was the limited edition designed in cooperation with Tristano, better known as TGV from the Urban Gentry channel. TGV provides in-depth reviews of watches along with historical details about watches and their manufacturers. It's a great channel to subscribe to. This limited edition he named the Lion Shark, but most people call it the TGV edition. And it was limited to 100 pieces, which is now sold out. Now, I didn't buy the watch because of TGV. I really liked the color combinations of this watch. Most of the specs and design of the watch are the same as the other 1521s, but he did change the color of the bezel and of the dial, and even change the hour markings on the dial. I suggest you watch TGV's own video on the design considerations that he gave for this watch. Before we examine the Lion Shark, let's talk a bit about Squale and their history. And I'll leave a link below to an article that gives a more in-depth review of their background. In 1948, Charles Van Buren started assembling watches for other companies. And in 1959, he converted that into his own company called Squale, which means shark in Italian. He made diver watch cases for many other brands and was well respected for his quality. Although he continued to make watch cases for other brands, he started to assemble his own line of watches. And now it's still a small family-run business based in Italy, but their watches are still manufactured and assembled in Switzerland. Mark from Long Island Watch, which I've talked about before, is the distributor for Squale watches in North America. Even if you go to the Squale website, the watch will be fulfilled by Mark. So now let's take a closer look at my Squale 1521 Lion Shark. My watch came in this black box with the Squale name on it. And inside the box was a nice leather, dark blue leather watch wallet or watch case with Squale name embossed in several places. It has a nice little compartment for the watch itself, one for the instruction manual and one for the warranty card. Now the watch itself came on this black leather strap with the Squale name embossed on the back, as well as etched into the stainless steel buckle. But I preferred to put it onto a NATO, so I went out and purchased from Blue Shark their Alpha Shark Black NATO, which has this red edging to it. I believe it costs around $32 without the shipping. And now I can say that I'm wearing a Shark on Shark. That is the Lion Shark watch on a Alpha Shark strap. Now this is a 42 millimeter watch. You can see the rest of the specs up here on the screen. Now the first thing you'll notice about the watch, at least I noticed, is that deep recessed blue dial. To me, it's almost like looking through a porthole, especially with those round hour markers looking like bolts on the porthole. The bezel is a 60-click unidirectional dial with a lume pip at the 12 o'clock position. And I'll show you a lume shot later. The bezel itself has a reeded edge, or some people call it a coin edge. And you'll note it's secured by these 4 tiny little screws. Just a bit of quality that you get from Squale, I believe. Now the dial has hour markers with lume paint, with the 3, 9, and 12 positions being different than the 6, so that you can orientate yourself when you're in the dark and just seeing the lume itself. Between the hour markers are these railroad tie minute markers. Those are not lumed. And at the 12 o'clock position, you can see the TGV logo with his family crest. And at the 6 o'clock position, the Squale logo. And of course, down there below in tiny print is Swiss made. As I said before, this watch is totally manufactured and assembled in Switzerland. At the edge of the dial is this highly polished mirror chapter ring, which produces some nice reflections both in the light and in the dark. The hour and minute hand are sword-shaped, with the minute hand being outlined in red with lume in the center. And the second hand is very thin with that rectangle about 3/4 of the way out to the edge, and that's where they applied the lume. So you can see here in the lume shot, you get very good orientation to the dial, and you also get some of that lume reflected off of that high polished chapter ring. The case itself is polished stainless steel all over. On the left side, it's curved, but the right side has this nice set of angles to it. And that might be to provide a little more protection to the crown, which is nestled in there at the 4 o'clock position, protected at the bottom by the lower lug and slightly from the top by that little angle there on the edge of the case. And as you can see here on the close-up of the crown, they've got the Von Buren logo. The case back is screwed down with the Squale logo again and some other specs about the watch. Now my only complaint, and I can't make too much of it, is that TGV decided to remove the date complication from the dial. And because they used the same movement as the other 1521 models, the crown still has that second position for the quick set of the date. And again, it's not that big of a deal to me. You just have to make sure that when you pull out the crown to set the time, you pull it out all the way beyond that quick set date position. And there you have it. Definitely one of my favorite watches in the collection to date. Please provide any comments you have on this watch or my channel in general. I'm trying to make this better with every video. And don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon so you're notified immediately for any new videos. Thanks for watching.